Hello everybody, it's Cheri and I am back. It is Friday, so it's my day to share on how it's going living whole food, plant-based, no oil or little to no oil. Yeah, week 16, still trucking along. Doing well. Don't have tons. I do have a few things I want to talk about that are not whole food, plant-based, but just some things that are on my mind. Pretty emotional today. I don't know. Hopefully I won't cry or anything like that. But yeah, things are going really well. Really well. 231 in the hospital. That'd be 16, 17, 18 weeks ago or so. Down to 173 as of this morning. So 58 pounds I have lost doing this. Between the food and the walking, it's just insane. I know I say this every week, but it's insane. Talking to my husband, we talked about, I know that it has been over 20 years since I've been at the weight that I'm at now, which is crazy. We got married in 99. I was right around 175 when we got married. I was pregnant with Allison then. So I had gained a little bit of weight right before we got married. When I can remember getting my dress, and I think I picked it out. It was a size 16. It was way too big, but they were able to take it in. So I was right around that 14-ish size, I think. And then I ended up, being pregnant, and things were very tight at the wedding. But, so 22 years ago, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, a long time. I have been, and I'll tell you, the weight for me, I've had 8 kids. If you don't know this about me, because you might stumble on this video, I have 8 children. My oldest daughter, Haley, I had at 19. And I can remember right after I had her, I think, I put on a lot of weight with her. Lots of weight. That's when I first found out that I had gestational diabetes is with her. She was a pretty large baby. This wasn't in my notes, but I will tell this. I was 19, so everybody treated me like a baby, and I was not married at the time. I was a single mom. This was before I met Darren, and ending up in the hospital, they didn't think highly of me the way that I was treated. It was very interesting, but my doctor was out of town for me to deliver, and they had just found that I was gestational diabetic, very late. They forgot to do the glucose tolerance test with my pregnancy with Haley. Then they found I passed out when I had the test because my sugars were so high. So when I drank the silly juice or whatever, so it was through the pregnancy. It kind of went under the radar. Didn't have it when I should have had the test. It was 30, maybe I had it at 34 weeks or something. I don't remember. But anyways, the first doctor that was on call to come in to deliver her, I'm in full-blown labor, refused because I was diabetic, not really monitored, never had an ultrasound. Now, mind you, this was, 93, so lots of years ago. And because of liability, he said, sorry, I'm not doing it. I don't know what I'm walking into. So I'm in the middle of labor being a young single mom, and find out that the doctor won't deliver the baby. So they had to call another doctor from the practice in that would do the delivery. And she was pretty large. She was 9'4", I think. So she was a big baby. Yeah, and that's always a risk with gestational diabetes, large babies, stillbirth, all of that. I went on to have 7 more children, which I know a lot of women struggle that have issues with sugar, with fertility and all of that. I was blessed to be a mama to 7 more kids on top of Haley. So, but anyway, that's when I found out about. So I have been on that diabetes kind of thing from the time I was 19. So insulin resistant, think about that, at the age of 19. So I know that there's tons of people walking around with that. So that wasn't in my notes, but I just went there. So anyways, yes, so down 58 pounds. It's been a good 22 years since I've been at the weight that I'm at now. I would like to lose, a good another, I know it sounds a little crazy, but I'd like to lose another maybe 20 something pounds, maybe 28, 29 pounds. I'd like to get down to 145 if that's at all possible. If my body might stop somewhere else, that's fine. My goal is to be around 150 by my birthday, which is the end of November, right after Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving. I would like to be somewhere around there. I don't know if I'll get there. And if I don't, I won't be sad. It's just that I thought I'd set myself a goal, and I think I talked about that before. But so we'll see. Yeah, it does get a little frustrating with the clothing. I know I complained about that, but it does. I'm gonna need, like, right now I wear you know, like workout pants when I walk, because I found that is, and I will tell you, ladies, or men, I don't know, but ladies, get yourself, I never had any like athletic wear. I had, you know, like a sports bra, but I never had like pants or anything. It makes a world of difference when even when you're just walking, you feel so much more comfortable. And but I started out with like a 2X pair, and then I went to an extra large pair. I'm gonna have to get a large because I did my 5 mile today. Woohoo! Hadn't done that all week, but I did my 5 mile. I still have walked every week, but I did my 5 mile. I got my stone in there with the road on it. And I will tell you, I walk all of the 5, dust. I walk all of the 5, and then the last little bit, which is our road, it has a couple hills on it, I run it, which it's more like a wog, like a real fast jog, like a walk and a jog. But anyways, I do that. I'm like, let's finish strong. You know, I'm always like, I did it. I got to the end. I'm going to finish strong. But my pants were falling down. Yeah, so I'll have to get some larges, which is crazy because I'm like, I have not been in like a large, you know, since then, since I got married. So that's a little nuts. But anyways, so yes, get yourself some good tight pants, as we call them. That's what we call them in our house, tight pants. All right, so I got something else. I got a gift from Miss Allison, and you know I had the hat on from Plants Only last week for the video. Look what Allie got me. Isn't it the cutest? The mug, and I don't know if that'll be the right way. I think it might be backwards. I know it should be the right way. What am I saying? But anyways, I've got some coffee in here. I'm caffeinating so that I can do my shopping. I should talk about that too. But love the mug though. It's handmade. Isn't it beautiful? It's got like a thumb rest. So Plants Only, plantsonlyshop.com if you want to get yourself some cool goods. All right. Okay. So if you followed along, if you watch on Instagram, I usually post on Instagram, share to Facebook. So if you're following me on Facebook, Bants on Plants, or Instagram Bants on Plants, you're probably seeing the same thing because I'm kind of lazy like that. Sometimes I'll post other things. Like I usually post, if you like the lake, I usually a couple times a week when I'm walking and I get down to the lake and I do the lake part of my walk. I don't mind my dog. He's going to talk too. I usually try to do a little story on it just to share it because it's just so stinking beautiful. I'm going to talk about gratitude here in a minute, but so grateful for where we live. It's just amazing to me. If you can get out and walk where you're in nature, it just makes you feel small, and it just, you know, it's like that. I get that feeling of vacation when I can walk down there and I see the big lake, and just, you know, it just makes you feel so good. Okay, so anyways, if you're watching, you saw that I have a new book I'm reading. It's from T. Colin Campbell, same gentleman, doctor, that wrote the China Study, and I'm just got through chapter 1. I'm already like, I just want to devour it. I will tell you, I realize somebody's going to watch this video. They might hear me talk. They're not going to be, they're going to be like, okay, whatever. I want to feel better. I want to lose weight, blah, 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 blah. I am on fire for this. And it's because I feel like I've been given, my life back, guys. I feel like I'm getting my body back, my health, my energy, my ability to sleep. I just feel so good. And I will tell you, for any of you who watch, whether you're a believer in Christ or not, being a Christian and knowing that, like, where you're going and what how the Lord works, all of that, it's just like, that's life-changing, right? It's like new life in Christ, right? I feel in a lot of ways that this is it's obviously not that, but it's close, because I've been given my life back. And that's where, like, this is the emotional part. This is where I'm just beyond grateful. I'm beyond grateful to the physician's assistant who, and I ordered a package from Forks Over Knives. I have some people in my life that I want to share Forks Over Knives with, and I got some videos. And I know it's old school, guys, but I think if you can have a tangible, I've got some people on a list that I feel like it could be life-changing for them, and so I'm going to share it. Hopefully they're not offended by it, but I'm going to share it with them. But anyways, so I am just on fire for this. I don't know where that's going to lead. I'm praying about that. But if I can help anyone else feel even a quarter of what I feel right now, or what this diet, even though I hate to call it that, this way of eating has done for me, it's just overwhelming. Like, the emotion for me, because I know how I felt before, and I know how I feel now, and I'm just so grateful. I'm beyond grateful, and I'll just go into that right now. So the whole book, that's what I got this week. So I've started on that, and I'll share with you like what my thoughts are on that as I get through it. Right now, he's just kind of reviewing some of the stuff that was in the China study that still gets me on fire, but it's really good so far. So, and then the other thing I got from Illustrated Faith. I've done Bible journaling in the past, and I just really wanted a gratitude journal. I wasn't sure what this was going to be like. I've seen other people use it. It's pretty good. I'm on day 2. There's 100 days of grace and gratitude. And I just thought, and you can see how it's just like, it has some verses in there, and so far I've kind of written out a couple pages here, but just kind of getting like daily, just being grateful and writing that stuff down. Because I know I've talked about this before, how I'm absolutely a control freak. I'm also not the most optimistic person. I trust God has a plan for my life and all of that, but being that I'm like have that aspect of control that gives me a little bit of I don't know. I want things to be a certain way, right? And I think I talked about this, how I've got more calming, I think, from the exercise and from the diet. But I think getting my mind right, because I know I talked about in the beginning videos, if you watch, how this for me was not starting out. I had no clue how this was going to go. And I'm thankful that I started documenting it from the beginning, because I didn't know. I didn't really have an expectation. I really didn't. For the first time ever in my life, I usually have an expectation. If I don't meet it, then I'm upset. But with this, I thought, what do I have to lose, right? I felt like shit. I thought I'd give it a shot. I didn't want to take medication. I knew that. So I've just been blown away at the changes that have happened without that whole, like, I have to stay strong. Now, mind you, with the exercise, like today, the 5 mile, the walking is not a problem. The running, the last little bit, that's like my way to challenge myself, because physically I don't really want to do it. But I'm like, it just feels good once you have. So, they're pushing myself that way. That takes a little bit of mental strength. But for the diet, it really, guys, it's not a lot. It's, and this is where I'm going to go into now. And let's see, I'm 13 minutes in. So it's not a lot. Allison is brilliant. My brilliant daughter that lives here. We talked about this. Why don't more people, like, why does this seem like such a weird thing? Why does whole food plant-based seem so strange? Cutting out animal protein from your diet. It's a societal thing. It's how we are raised. We're like engineered to think, dairy is the best thing for us, and we have to have our protein and all of that. So it's rethinking. But why is that so hard? Well, I think, and she like hit the nail on the stinking head, and I want to talk about this more and dig in, but this is brilliant, guys, and it's so true. If you don't know my story, also there's 9 of us that live in a house that's just a little over 1,000 square feet. We're in a cabin. We're not really in a house. We sold all of our stuff before we moved here. And, obviously if I was going to show you, I still have stuff. But we don't have a lot of stuff. We have very little stuff. And so what did we do? We gave up a lot of stuff. So that mentally probably started to help me on this road to where I am now. Because I had given into, I wanted less, because less is more. But Allison made a point that in our society, it's all about addition, not about subtraction. We are the pros at addition, but not subtraction. And I think that's what happens with this style, with this lifestyle, is it's a little overwhelming because we have to take stuff away. Instead of thinking about what we get to add, we think about what we take away. And for me, see, I felt like I got to add stuff because I had had that deficit of carbohydrates, fruits, and vegetables for so long because I was on the keto, junkie, off and on, low carb, Atkins, killing myself, diet. And so for me, I felt like I was adding stuff. And now I don't miss the meat. But the whole addition, subtraction, we do that with everything in our society. We're all about, we teach our children, we got to get into a good school so that we can earn a lot of money, so that we can buy a big house and have some nice cars, and our kids can go to, the best colleges and all of that. But we're always adding. What are we losing? So anyways, I wanted to share that because I think it's a good word. Yeah. I think that if we can learn to, minimize or simplify and I will tell you, one of the things that we do is there is some planning. There has to be some planning in that. Being that we have a large family, we have to think ahead. So we were already engineered to do that. But like today, we got to go to the grocery store. Darren will pick up little things here and there throughout the week because he's close to Aldi and Meijer and Walmart at work. We live out in the middle of nowhere. We're going to drive 45 minutes today to an Aldi that we like, go to Meijer and to Walmart. We have a list. We plan out what meals or a pool of meals. We don't decide what days we're going to have them. We try, if it's like a lots of perishables, we'll have them earlier in the week. But we plan out our meals ahead of time. And you've got, if this is a priority for you, if health is a priority for you, you have to prioritize and you have to plan what you're going to be eating throughout the week. You just have to, because I will tell you, you will get busy and then the drive-through is like what's going to save you because you got to eat, right? So don't let the drive-through decide. And I was laying in bed with Darren last night, or maybe it wasn't last night. I think it might have been. I don't know. But anyways, we said, we were talking about how the debit card, because I was reading statistically heart disease from 1997 to 2000 and whatever, it went up like 30%. Okay. And we talked about how, like, when fast food started you could use a debit or a credit card. I'm dating myself here. Do you remember when you couldn't do that and you had to have cash? Well, it was like around the late 90s when all the fast food started allowing the use of debit cards and credit cards, and heart disease went up, guys. And I think it's because the convenience. We don't have to even have the cash. So there's no thinking ahead. You can just do it, right? And that whole thing has it's really been hard on us. We're sick. We're a sick society. We have all the latest medicines and gadgets, and still we're just dropping dead every day with a heart attack or, whatever. But anyways, okay. So subtraction versus addition. Think about what you can take away, like, from your life that'll make your life better. And be grateful for that, I don't know, whatever. Okay. So last thing, the very last thing that I want to say here is, so you know what? Okay, I just lost my thought. So wait a minute. We talked about the debit cards. I wanted to say this, and I totally forgot. This is the rabbit trail thing that I said my brain has slowed down. Can you imagine what it was like before? But anyways, 30 minutes. Okay, you go to Starbucks, right? Or you go to McDonald's and it's really busy, but you need food, and you'll sit there for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to wait for your food. It's frustrating, and it might piss you off that you have to wait. But we'll do that, but we won't spend 20 or 30 minutes in the kitchen to prepare a meal to eat it. I used to be guilty of that when I was tired all the time. But if you fuel yourself the right way and you take the time in the kitchen, you can have all the energy you want. You won't be tired. It's like the whole dominoes. Okay, so there you go. That's what I wanted to get to. Totally forgot. I'm glad I remembered. Okay, so one last thing. If you looked at my Instagram this week, I shared a couple pictures. Holy cow, silken tofu in the box. We use tofu in the stir fry. We don't use tofu a ton, except for this last week. I used it quite a bit. When we do stir fry, I use it in the stir fry, but I buy, like at Aldi, they have extra firm tofu. I get that. And I've tried making sauces out of that. And I was like, meh, it's all right. But I had bought a couple boxes of shelf stable. I don't know what the brand is, but it's Silken extra firm tofu. And I did the pasta salad. I made the mayo out of that. I did the pasta salad this past week. And then I also did, it's like a faux Olive Garden Italian dressing. Holy shit, it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. I don't know who the person is, but it was a video. So maybe I'll look up the link and see what video it was that had the recipe, and I'll share it in the description of this video. You gotta try it though. Oh my gosh, it's so stinking amazing. The Italian dressing, the faux Italian garden. No. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I am losing it. Yes, so Olive Garden, not Italian Garden. See, I knew it didn't sound right. I knew it didn't. So anyways, I will share that. Let me get another sip of coffee. All right, so that's it. That's all I have for this week. Week 17 next week. Holy cow. I can't, because we're like, 4 months in. It kind of feels long, but not, if that makes sense. I do feel like a different person. And again, I am just so grateful. And I'm grateful for all of you who watch this. And if you have any questions for me, but if you have any tips, again, I'm always happy to hear them. I'm still learning. It's all new. But yes, so my tip to you is plan ahead. If it's hard for you, get a meal planner. Forks Over Knives has a meal planner. Plant Strong has a meal plan. There's all kinds of meal planners out there, and you can get a list thing. I use Forks Over Knives for some recipes, and then you can meal plan out of it. And I think I shared this before. We use Any List is what it's called. And then Allison can add stuff, I can add stuff, Darren can add stuff, we can mark stuff off. It's such a good way to stay organized and plan ahead so that you have, you're prepared for the week for your meals. So thanks for watching. You all have a very blessed one, and I will be back next week with an update. So we'll see you later. Bye now.